So, hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. Today we are going to have another success story with us. And today we have with us Manu, and he has cracked SEBI Grade A officer, and he's going to share his journey with all of you so that you can learn the strategies and the hard work he has put in to crack the examination. So, Manu, welcome to the channel. And first of all, I want to congratulate you. Very
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Manu, we are going to start with your introduction. And first of all, just let us know what is your educational background or academic background, maybe.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a mechanical engineer. I
Okay.
graduated from Pittsburgh Goa campus
Mm.
in the 2018. And I worked for a year in the private sector, post which I started preparing for UPSC civil services.
Okay.
Then, I started working again in 2023 with as an assistant at the High Court of Kerala and been doing that still since then.
Okay. So you are still in the job?
Yeah,
Okay. So you have got the experience of how government works,
yeah, kind of. I mean,
kind of,
kind of,
especially
yeah.
the judiciary work.
The judiciary, yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay. So you have done private job as well, and you have done the government job as well.
yeah.
So what, according to you, was different in these two?
Definitely the work culture. Like
Okay.
private work culture is way more. There's a lot more hustle which you experience on a day-to-day basis. But the government, it's hustle culture is there, but it's not an everyday thing which you see that.
Okay. And
And
this is what motivates the aspirants to go for the government job.
yeah, kind of, yeah, that's true.
We can say that, right?
Yeah, I mean it's very natural, and people want peace in their life, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Mental peace is
Mental
important. Yeah.
peace.
Okay. And let's get to the your preparation part. What was the major source of your preparation?
So I had used multiple sources like for my preparation, like 2, 3 institutes, materials I've used. Where,
Okay. And what was the major source?
so EduTap was definitely one of them, one of the major
Okay.
sources for my preparation. I've been using it for like all my 3 attempts of SEBI exam.
Okay. So this was your third attempt, and finally you have cracked it.
Yeah.
And the from the sources, what was your फोकस सबसे ज्यादा आपको पूरे मटेरियल में पूरे सोर्सेज में किसने हेल्प की मतलब कॉन्सेप्ट नोट्स ने हेल्प की या समरी शीट ने हेल्प की या फिर वीडियोस ने हेल्प की मतलब ऐसा क्या एक आपके लिए मतलब एक पॉइंट है दैट हेल्प यू द मोस्ट
So it differed from attempt to attempt. Like when I was doing my first 2 attempts in 21 and 22, concept videos actually helped me a lot. Like to
ओके
understand, especially for commerce,
या
because I'm from a non-commerce background and I felt videos were really helpful.
ओके
And post which, like this attempt was more about just reading through summary sheets or
ओके
concept notes. I didn't have to use much and MCQ PDFs, of course.
एमसीक्यू
I
पीडीएफ
think
लेते
the
हैं
marathon courses in EduTap and several other MCQ marathon courses which I used in other institutes. It did help me a lot.
okay so aspirants must learn from you this thing that first you have to clear your concepts and then your base is set then you have to read the pdfs again and again you have
Yeah.
to attempt the questions है ना this was your strategy I can say
But this was a strategy done over 3 years.
automatically
So no,
yeah
it was done over 3 years. So
over
I
3 years
don't know how efficient that strategy is.
okay
So this time I didn't have to clear my concepts as such
exactly
because I had done it in my early attempts, but I don't think it's the most efficient method. But this works.
okay
This worked for me at least.
okay yeah so if I ask you about this attempt because you are preparing from this was your third attempt so you have been preparing for the examination from a very long time but if I ask you specifically about this attempt how much time did you devote each day in this attempt
Okay. So since I was a working aspirant on a daily basis, probably like what 3, 4 hours.
okay
Then I try to compensate in the weekends. So my main focus was to cover the syllabus rather than focusing on the number of hours as such.
hours
So for me, I try to revise a particular portion of one subject every day and
okay
extrapolate it over like what 2.5 to 3 months.
okay
That's how it was done.
so on the weekends how many hours did you devoted
Maybe approx 5, 6 hours.
okay okay
Because
so from your example, we can see that working aspirants can also crack the examination, provided they manage their time efficiently and effectively, right? Okay.
Well, again, depend. I mean, since I had fixed working hours, it did help me to plan the day properly.
Mhm.
But for working aspirants who are in private sector, probably that's not the case. When they have to work
Yeah.
late or anything. But for me, the working hours were fixed, so I could plan everything properly and devote that much amount of time.
Yeah,
So
but
that helps.
private sector employees as well can study, as you said, ki you have devoted the time early in the morning and late in the night, right?
So
So
yeah, I mean that's what every working aspirant has to
has to do.
depend on the
Mm,
they have to wake up early,
yeah,
take their extra hours in the morning and even in the evening, sacrifice some elements of fun in life. I mean, but it's not. I mean, it's not that you have to do it every day, but yeah, I mean, you might have to
and
sacrifice a bit here and there.
yeah, and what kept you motivated throughout this journey to wake up early in the morning and then go to the office, then come back from the office, then study again? What was the motivation factor for you? Because you were working already in the state government job, right? And before that, you had got the private job as well. So what was that motivation factor in your head?
So I think this is the reason. I mean, the cause. I mean, I quit my job like 5 years back to pursue something in the field of policy.
Okay.
And so I was adamant that so my current job doesn't involve that much amount of policy. So
Yeah.
I want to get into that area. I think
Okay.
that acted as a sole motivation to,
Okay.
to go
So
to
you
the
are
hustle.
much interested in the finance part, policy making part,
Yeah,
that
policy. Yeah,
kept you going throughout this journey,
exactly. Yeah,
waking up early in the morning and
yeah,
then coming after the office, then also study again. Okay, that's a good part. Okay, so it's a kind of an intrinsic motivation, not the
exactly.
external.
Yeah.
You are already interested in the finance part, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the area interests me a lot. So
Okay,
that
cool.
motivated.
Okay, so there are lot of subjects in the paper too. Is the
Yeah,
syllabus huge or is it manageable?
like uh, it's kind of huge. If you compare it with other exams like RBA, I feel it's a lot more technical.
Mm,
Like for example, commerce, costing, economics, and all are purely technical subjects.
okay.
But that's something. I mean, the attempts in my previous, I mean, experience in my previous attempt, it did help this time. But
Yes.
commerce is something. I mean, if you're coming from a non-commerce background, that would be a challenge. Commerce is definitely a challenge because you have to start from the basics. It's like learning a language. You have to start from the basics, and questions won't be asked from basics. They're going to ask beyond that.
Yeah.
So it is challenging, but it's something doable. Like since we have ample amount of materials, resources available at this
Yes.
point in time, it's something. If it's just that we have to prioritize, dedicate our time in the right places. So I think that's
Exactly.
the challenge. Like, we don't have to dwell on things which are not important or which are
Which are
not
not
relevant.
important. Yeah. Mm.
So
This is the common mistake I have seen the aspirant are making. They are trying to learn the in-depth part of the commerce and accountancy as well, because they are thinking that they are learning some new subjects. They want to get into the detail of that subject, but exam really don't demand that. Exam demands the surface level understanding, the conceptual clarity. So this is what they can learn from you. Ki you have a given preference or priority to the conceptual understanding of the subject, right?
yes, then
As
the distribution of the paper also, like you
yeah,
understand what are they asking. Like
yes,
plus they have like 6 subjects, of which of from 100, what 100 questions are there, six
yeah,
subjects. So approximately what 15, 16
15 to 18
questions,
question. Yeah,
15 to 18 questions per subject.
yeah,
So there's a limit to which they can ask actually.
yes,
So you don't really need to go in depth. Plus you can
in depth.
afford to get what some questions wrong. You
Yeah,
need to
exactly. You don't
so
have to do every question right.
every question right. I mean cutoff is not 100 out of 100. So
Yes.
I mean these calculations did play in my mind, but these are the mistakes which I did in my previous attempts. Like I
Okay.
used to go in depth in commerce, like try
Okay.
to understand everything,
Okay.
but it's not required. They're not going to ask you such questions. So
Exactly. So this is the smart
understanding the
strategy. You have to
understanding the
cover
demand.
exclusively, but you don't have to go into too much depth of a
So
particular
that's it.
topic, right?
Yeah,
Whether it is economics, whether it is commerce and accountancy, it is same for
exactly.
everything, right? Yeah.
Conceptual
Okay.
clarity, but again, understanding the demand of the
Exam.
exam.
Yeah.
That's the most important.
Exactly. And so again, you according to you, because you are from non-commerce background, so you must be having these subjects like new languages like commerce and accountancy, also companies act, also economics as well. So what according to you is the most scoring section as per you?
Scoring
And the
would be
difficult section as well.
for me, management was the most scoring part. Okay,
Okay.
so you're talking about the technical ones, the commerce, costing,
Paper
or
two, paper two,
in
complete
general,
paper
like
two. Huh?
big
What
paper.
is the most easy section and what is the most
Management was
difficult?
the most easiest. Like it's a low hanging fruit. Like,
Okay.
by some basic understanding and some common sense, you can easily crack it.
Okay.
For me, the tough ones were, I mean, the ones I was scared of were commerce, of course, especially the numericals part, like the ratio
Okay.
analysis, all these accounting standards. Then macroeconomics for sure. Like,
Okay.
even though that is the point, like they were not asking a lot of questions from macroeconomics, but still we had to put a lot of effort to understand.
Yeah.
So this time, thankfully, I did understand it like quickly, and I was able to do a lot of questions on that, both back macroeconomics and commerce. But
Okay.
in my previous attempts, what I did wrong was I was not practicing a lot of questions.
Practice. Okay.
So I was just revising the theory again and again, and I didn't know how to apply it. So that's something I changed this time, and I felt. I mean, I'm not sure how much effective it was in the actual paper, but I felt confident.
Yeah, this is see, confidence is also a factor na, in the actual examination.
Yeah.
If you are confident, that obviously it is going to show up in the result as well.
Exactly.
And when you are attempting the actual paper, it is going to show you while you are doing the questions as well. Confidence plays a role. Yeah.
True.
Okay. So that also students can learn from you, because revising is important, and not only theoretical part you have to just study, you have to apply that theory part in the actual MCQ. This is what you did, right? You have
Yes.
practiced a lot of questions, and you revised multiple times, like you said, economics part, commerce and accountancy, multiple times you have revised it from the previous, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how do you suggest planning the preparation? Like we have got the 6 subjects in the paper 2. So did you prepare any 2 subjects simultaneously, or did you go sequential in a sequential manner, one by one?
So what I did was I just classified all the 6 subjects into 2, like the tough ones and the easy
Okay.
ones. So I tried to club all the easy ones with the tough ones.
Okay.
Like commerce was a tough nut to crack for me.
Okay.
I studied it with management, so I can compromise on my management studies. Like if I had to allot commerce, and likewise I paired everything, like one subject and one tough and one easy subject.
Okay.
So that way I felt showing progress is an important thing psychologically. Like when at the end of the week, when I think about what do I cover, if I think that I covered like 1 and 2 subjects, that's more helpful than covering one subject.
One subject, right?
So that helped. So I tried doing 2 subjects at a time. Like morning one session, I would do the hard one. Then in the evening, like when I'm tired and when I'm sleepy, I just do the easy one and just finish it off.
Okay, so that's a good strategy as well. You have paired 2 subjects, one easy one and one difficult one.
So it's really crude. I mean, it's not really planned as it's planned to the dot or the piece, but yeah, that was the general.
But it works for you.
It did work, yeah.
Okay.
I could see progress. I can see the subjects moving.
Moving, right? And you were also tracking your progress. That's the good part, now. Because at the end of the week, you were tracking, you are seeing what progress you have made, and that made you.
That itself acted as a motivation.
Motivation, yeah, exactly. Okay, that's a good part. So how do you suggest, this question I have already asked you. Okay. So what was about the numerical part? Have you given the priority or importance to the numericals?
Yeah, definitely. So I think in 2022, there was a lot of focus on the numerical questions. So this time I felt, I mean, that's what last time I felt I lacked on the numerical part. So I felt this time, especially after phase 1, did practice a lot of numericals from commerce, costing, and some questions in economics, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, there was a lot of focus on numericals than conceptual after phase
1. Okay. So, but in the phase 1 examination, you didn't find any difficult question with respect to the numericals, and as well as in the phase 2 as well, you didn't find any difficult numericals.
Yeah, there were not a lot of difficult numericals. There were just basic ones.
Basic ones. So the understanding is important, conceptual understanding. If you have, and you have been practicing the numericals, the surface level numericals, you will sail through it, right?
Yeah, I mean, as per the latest, I mean, this year pattern, yes, but you never know what's gonna what are they going to ask next?
Yeah, okay. And tell us something about the company law, because everything is in the company law is about mugging up the data, right?
Yeah.
We have got so many provisions, so many facts. So you have the penalty amount, you have the section number, though penalty amount is has not been asked this time,
Exactly.
but section number were there, and you have got the other provisions as well, in which various facts we have to remember, right? So how did you prepare for that? What was your strategy?
So I skipped section numbers and penalties.
Okay.
Section numbers, I was like, okay, if it comes to my head, it's fine. I'm not going to actively try and recall all the section numbers.
Okay.
And when you see the latest pattern, like the last 2 years pattern, there were not a lot of questions based on section numbers and penalties.
Exactly.
At max, they asked us one question.
One or
that
two.
Probably in phase 1. I don't think they have asked in 2022 phase 2. 2020 was a different case because it was the first time SEBI was doing it post the syllabus revision. Exactly. In 2022, I don't think they asked any section numbers or penalties. So I was like, there are 100 questions. Like I just have to find one penalty question, which is very hard. Like there are like 20, 30 different penalties, and so I'm like, let's leave it there. I don't want to put my efforts on penalties because it's a waste of time. You will waste a lot of time just for one question. So return on investment is an important thing.
Yes.
So and companies like the rest of the part, I try to understand ultimately it all comes down to mugging up the numbers, but you can make it fun by understanding the terms, which probably try to understand. I don't know. Like when I saw the videos in 2022, I think EduTap's video itself, there was some amount of, they were trying to explain the rationale behind each of the provisions in a crude manner, like by saying it as an example or something. So that did help a lot. Like, okay, I'm not claiming that I did it for each and every section and all, but to make it interesting, probably we can think it that way. And the videos helped in 2022, to memorize everything.
And this time you revised from the notes.
Yeah, I had notes of Companies Act. I just revised through it, and I could remember a lot of things, surprisingly, even after 2 years.
Okay.
Like I think it's the numbers part, so I could recall a lot of things. That helped.
Okay, so you are basically trying to say that if someone wants to go into the Companies Act, like someone want to study the Companies Act first, what they need to do is to understand the provision from the practical point of view. They need to relate the provision to the actual scenarios, right?
If possible.
Yeah, obviously, if possible, then they will be able to remember these provisions for a longer duration of time. This is what happened with you, right?
Yeah, and plus there's a lot of theory, inbuilt theory within those acts.
Yeah.
Like some terms or something.
Some terms of finance, some terms of commerce and accountancy, right?
So just try to understand that. Probably those things you will be able to recall a lot. So related information, again, you can recall quite easily, is what I think. Plus, I felt there's a lot of information in Companies Act. So just don't try to remember everything like in one go. Like try to prioritize within the chapters. Like there will be some sections which are like, it's really important.
Yes.
Just try to
by looking at it,
that.
You can say.
Yeah. So try to remember that at first. Then once you remember that, then again, there'll be a set of second, the second most important numbers which are there. Then remember that again. So like a pyramid approach, I would say.
Okay. So multiple time revision is important.
Multiple time revision and just prioritizing. Just think about how you can make questions from that.
Exactly.
Answer to that.
Okay. And if I ask you, how many times you have revised these provisions from the PDFs and whatever document you have in the hard copy or soft copy?
I don't think.
Okay. While revising, at the last point of time, did you revise it before going to the examination?
Yeah, I did.
2 days before.
So that's what. In the end, my main focus was on just mugging up Companies Act. Because at the last, so again, you have to prioritize the subjects.
Exactly.
There are subjects which requires conceptual understanding, which you cannot do anything in the last 2 days. Exactly. Because you have already understood it. There's nothing to remember. So economics was one of them. I think only the numericals part probably I have done it. Then commerce, numericals part again, I just tried to do it in the last minute. So that it is fresh in my mind. But I never dwelled on the theory part towards the end for commerce.
That's a good idea. Right?
Yeah,
why to do theory part? Because it has already been done in the previous.
Yeah, management also, I didn't do anything towards the end because it's again conceptual.
Yeah.
The Companies Act was something which I felt, you get a lot of return if you do it. So I remember doing a Companies Act in the morning while I was having my breakfast. It did help. I remember 2 questions. So it was as simple as that. Just I mean, prioritize which are the things which you have to mug up. Focus on
Exactly.
that at the last minute. Don't go for conceptual stuff
Conceptual.
in the last minute.
And how did you tackle the economics? Because economics is tough, it is huge, and plus you have got the microeconomics, the technical part.
Yeah.
How did you manage that? Because students want to know this thing. And
So
did
that's
we...
what, again, relied on videos.
Okay.
I think this was one of the like I did enroll for the live sessions for EduTap. So the economic sessions was something I relied on, like all these market structures, which I think the teacher deserves a special appreciation for the way she taught. Market structures, macroeconomics.
Yeah.
Those things were, taught very clearly. The bonus was she was doing some answers, question and answers also, which gave a lot of conceptual clarity. So I understood the subject, then I tried doing a lot of questions, which helped. Like especially I was struggling with market structures, like all these different oligopoly models, duopoly models.
Yes.
That was a bit hard. It was going over my head. But the questions helped. Like I'm trying to understand what questions they can possibly ask. Was something which I did.
So in the economics part, I must say that you have used your self-study as well from the help of videos. Then you use your own mind. What questions could be asked from this topic?
That's something which I did every day, which for every subject. Like for every subject. Possible questions. Yeah. Like for companies as especially, like these things they won't ask because if at all they ask, it's not a good question.
Yeah.
You can skip that question.
Exactly.
And economics, first of all, understand the concept, then only think about what questions can be made from that.
And again, for the economics as well, did you go into too much depth?
No. I just relied on the material. Like whatever was taught, I just did that.
So surface level understanding, topics, conceptual understandings is important.
To be frank, I don't think the videos were just surface level understanding. They did go into depth. They did. I mean, that level of understanding is required, is what I feel.
Okay.
Because to understand that whole concept, which did help actually. That is one of the few subjects which I took some effort to actually go deep and understand it. Yeah. Economics, specifically.
In the economics. As it's a new subject for you.
It's a new subject, and plus it was a bit tricky. They could ask questions. They did ask questions last time.
And what according to you is the importance of revision while when you have covered everything? What is the strategy you followed for the rigorous revision, and what is the importance for that?
So so basically I just divided the whole thing into conceptual and mugging up, like all the subjects. And within all the subdivisions within each subjects, I just divided into things that the things which I have to understand it, the things which I have to do mug up. So then I started revision. Like conceptual understanding, I just took it slow. Just try to understand the terms which they can possibly ask. But the mugging up part, again, you just revise it again and again. Try to recall it, mark things which you don't remember. And when you go through that again, you just recall that, oh yeah, I even remembered it. Then I did a lot of questions. Questions was one more where I could revise a lot.
MCQs. Yeah, practiced a lot.
Practice a lot of MCQs. That also helped. So
that did help you in recalling all the concepts.
Yeah, exactly. So not this concept. I was mostly focusing on the facts.
The facts as well.
That was something which we all needed a lot of revision for.
Yeah.
So concept was something which is there. It's there in your head if you understand once. So that revision was not that needed, but facts was something which you needed to recall every time. So revision was focused mainly on that.
So before your phase 2 exam, how much time did you left with to revise all the components? कितने टाइम पहले आपने सब खत्म कर लिया था अपना components? आपके पास रिवीजन के लिए कितना टाइम बचा था?
I don't think that kind of demarcation was there in my head. Like sometimes I did postpone some things of economics towards the end because I was procrastinating. Then it was a mix. Like whatever I felt, one slot was dedicated for revision. Rest, I just studied whatever I felt was needed. So only in the last 2 days I did
all the revision. So after the phase one as well, you have gone through some concept videos or conceptual understanding. Ki before phase one, you have done all the conceptual
No,
understanding.
no, it was a mix. So I might have gone through it, but again, there might be some confusions or there might be some lack of understanding in subjects. Then I had to, I had come, so
Okay.
especially for economics, I would say.
Okay.
I had to come back again and again to understand, like understand many things.
Including the new concepts as well.
I don't recall doing anything new after phase one.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking. Ki
I'm not
you
sure.
have after phase one, you have just focused on the I would say ki revision part of whatever concept you have already gone through in a more clear
I
manner,
can
right?
say that, yeah. But
Yeah.
if the situation demanded, I would go through new. I don't have any mental block to study anything new after phase one. If at all there was some requirement, if I felt that this was needed, like especially if you go through RBI notifications and all, you might encounter a lot of new terms.
Yeah, that's
That's what. So I did read about it, try to understand what it is.
Okay, you have gone through the circular and notifications as well for the finance part, finance current affair part in the paper 2.
The paper.
Okay, that's really good. Okay, so for the paper 2, aspirants should be doing the RBI, and you have also done the SEBI circulars.
SEBI circulars, yeah.
Okay, SEBI circulars as well.
RBI circulars. Even though they didn't ask, I don't think they asked anything from SEBI circulars, but RBI circulars are very important.
Okay.
Finance preparation.
Finance has the weightage of current affairs as well.
Yeah, yes, finance has the weightage, and they're asking most of the questions.
From the current affair itself.
Yeah.
Conceptual part was less, and the current affair part was more in the finance segment, right?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, one thing, the only part where current affairs holds important is finance. So
yeah. Okay. Only part, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So coming to the descriptive English part, what was your sequence of attempting the questions? Like it was essay, précis, or reading comprehension, or did you change the sequence?
Yeah, so I did reading comprehension at first, then essay, and then précis.
Okay, so most of the students have done this thing.
Oh.
Whatever interview I have taken, I have come to know this thing ki they have first attempted the reading comprehension, then they did précis writing, and then they did the essay. I think you have done the same thing.
No, essay I did in between. In between,
okay.
Yeah.
You did précis writing at the last, but you started with the reading comprehension.
Reading comprehension.
Everyone did that, right?
Because reading comprehension was hard in the sense that you had to write a lot of words. You had to read a lot of things. But this time, I think the answer space was towards the end. So you scroll down a lot, scroll down and scroll up a lot. So it takes a lot of time. It took 25 minutes for me to finish reading comprehension. Okay. That too, I had to compromise in the end, like reduce the number of words and everything. I don't think, not reduce the number of words, but again, I had to type like really fast. Like a lot of, I had to finish it off. Like it was not comfortable for me. Okay. And in the previous attempts, did you go through the same sequence, or did you change this sequence in this particular attempt only? I think I did. I think I used to do essay towards the end. I'm not sure. Okay, you're not sure. You don't remember, right? Sure. Yeah, I don't remember that much. But and what about the interface? I have heard that interface is not very good at all. It is a bit like for reading comprehension, you have to the answer spaces towards the end after each. I think sometime. No, and reading comprehension interface was kind of okay. Like you can still manage. You can see all the words. You can see all the words you've written. But for précis, you have to scroll a lot of times to see what all you have written. So again, this time I don't know. It was okay. I didn't have to delete back and forth a lot. Because you have been doing it for the past 2 times as well. So you knew. That's right. So I knew that it was expected. It was expected. I'm like in my head, I know this has to be done. Yeah. So I was a bit more careful while typing, and I was reading it along while I was writing. So previous 2 attempts just basically acted as the mock test for you, I could say. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I understood the interface, and I've written not just SEBI, I've written a lot of IB-based exams. Exactly. So I was a bit prepared for that. Prepared for the interface. Okay. That's good. Okay. And so I want to tell the students, if they have to practice the descriptive English, I might suggest them to go for the descriptive English mock test as well. Right? I'm not really sure. I didn't take any mock test as such. But you have practiced it through the actual. Yeah, but again, I'm not sure whether institute platforms do give that interface. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that interface is important. Exactly. So, okay. So let's get to the next question.
What was your interview experience? Let's talk about the interview now. Was it cordial or very tense type of interview?
Just okay, so like in
Okay.
between intense and cordial, they don't grill you as such.
Okay.
And so mine was on the first day, like third to last interview. And it was very, I mean, it was not that long because since it was towards the fag end of the day, it was not that long. So they were mostly interested.
Around how many minutes?
20 minutes, 15, 20
Okay.
minutes. Usually,
Okay.
I think, yeah, 15, 20 minutes.
Not so long,
Not
but
so long. Yeah, yeah.
mm,
So basically, it was asking, they were asking a lot of whys. Like, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Instead of
okay.
technical questions. Like, they were
Okay.
basically questioning your life choices.
On personality, they were
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
questions.
That's what they were questioning on
So
your life choices.
profile based
Yeah.
questions. So the students must be preparing the profile. They must
Profile
prepare the
questions.
profile based questions,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
definitely.
That is important.
That is important.
Okay. And the like the SEBI questions also they did ask you the SEBI organization.
Not so they did like there were a bit of technical questions
Okay.
like on mutual
Okay.
funds related mostly. Then something related to my home state, Kerala.
That is the profile part.
No, no, yeah,
Huh.
profile part, yeah, GK, general
Yeah. Yeah.
knowledge,
Acha, current affair part. Okay.
current
Okay.
affairs part.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they asked me about my profile based again, civil services preparation,
Mm.
like or about my current work profile. So majority 80% was profile based, 20% would be something technical.
Ah, okay. So they also asked you something in the current affairs domain in the finance sector.
Not really,
Ah, okay.
not really.
They
But
ask
they
you
did
about.
ask in subsequent sessions, I think.
Achha.
Yeah, but whenever you're thinking of preparing, you should prepare everything. Like do the current affairs part. Like
Okay.
do a
They did
holistic
focus on your
profile.
profile plus the Kerala state some GK general knowledge
Yeah, yeah.
questions.
Not that much, just one question, one or two questions.
Okay.
That's all. It was not very
Okay.
intense also.
And did they ask you about the SEBI as an organization, about the departments and all? Did they
No,
ask
no,
you about
not,
that? Not that.
not really, not really. They didn't.
Okay. So it was a kind of I think uh
Profile based.
yeah, profile based.
Profile based.
You can make it the cordial as well.
Yeah. So I mean, they can grill you at some point. They can make it cordial as well, depending on their mood. I guess.
Yeah. Okay. And have you given the mock interview with the EduTap as well?
Yeah, I've given the mock interview.
Apart from the course, you have also taken the
Yeah, I've
interview as
taken
well.
the
Okay.
and it
And did
was
it help you?
yeah, it did. So that was the first mock interview I gave.
Okay.
Like in my preparation, I didn't have much time also. Sorry, I didn't have much time also to prepare for interviews.
Okay.
So this interview did act as an eye opener for me because it
Okay.
went really bad.
Okay.
I mean, they were asking basic profile-based questions which I couldn't answer because I was not really prepared. Then
Okay.
there was this officer, sir, who was part of SEBI, retired SEBI
Okay.
officer in the
Okay.
panel, and he did throw a lot of insights into the working of SEBI, which I felt
And
it helped.
it did help you, right?
Not directly for the interview, but for my understanding of the organization.
Exactly.
And he was asking a lot of technical questions.
Okay.
So and in-depth technical questions, which which helped a lot. I mean, after the interview, I did actually work on it and gain some confidence.
Okay.
So the interview
And
experience was really good.
okay, so you gave one mock interview from
Yeah.
the EduTap, and that mock interview helped you a lot. Okay. So this actual interview and in the mock interview, how many panel members were there in the mock interview as well and in the actual
In the
interview?
mock interview, it was just two.
Two. And in the
And
actual
the
interview?
actual interview, there were five.
Five. And all of them were asking questions, or
Yeah,
two
all
or
of them
three?
like
All of them. Okay.
all of them were asking questions, but some asked like one or two questions, and
Okay.
some others grill you a bit. They dig
Okay.
deep. Chairman was, but predominantly there was a chair which was asking a lot of questions.
Okay. So if you have to define your overall journey, it is a kind of a up and down journey. Sometimes you were feeling confident, sometimes you are feeling not so confident, but overall you have just sailed through this thing,
Yeah, somehow yeah, just went with the flow, I would say.
and you have got the background as well, the UPSC preparation background. Plus, you were also preparing for the competitive examination. That really helped you in this preparation of the
Yeah,
SEBI as well.
definitely. I mean, like it acted as a sort of foundation for me. Like
Okay. And
everything
the
is
sources, you have already told us about the sources, the EduTap course you have taken for the RBI NABARD and the SEBI.
yeah,
Three of them you have taken. But ultimately, the SEBI is achieved,
Yeah.
and you are really happy about that,
Yeah,
right? You are very relieved. Okay.
exactly. Relieved would be the
Okay.
right word to use.
Okay. So, any message you would like to give to the aspirants? Any last message before we sign off?
And philosophically, if I had to say, like, have a plan B. Always
Okay.
have a plan B. Like,
Okay.
irrespective of which exam you're writing, because it's a lot of competition, and it's not about competition. It's a lot of luck factor involved.
Luck factor as well. Okay.
Yeah, so you just cannot rely on one thing, and I mean, it
Okay.
might work for you, might not work for you, but there's a chance that you'll fail. And the second thing would be, don't associate your self-worth, all these
Exactly.
things with these
With this
exam
examination,
results.
right?
I
Right.
did
Right.
it. I did it. I know it. It's impossible not to do it. But if at all, try to limit it.
Not only you, the previous interviews I have taken, they told me the same thing.
Yeah.
Sir, we
So
didn't
that's something
associate it too much
to
ourselves with the
yourself.
examination.
Yeah.
We were not attached too much.
It's impossible to actually detach yourself from it, but try to keep in mind that you are different and the exams are different.
Exactly.
Try to
And you have got the plan B of state that Kerala job, high court job.
That really helped. I mean, since I had a job with me, it did help. Like, I had something to look forward to.
That's not a negative part. That's a positive part, in fact. If
Yeah,
you are a
so-
working aspirant, then it's a good point for you.
So that's what I mean. The nature of my job was such that it gave me that confidence, but at the same time gave me that space to prepare. And
Okay.
I know for a fact that that's a lot of privilege. That's not something everyone has.
Yeah.
So it did help. It did act as a solid foundation for me. Like, I never had to worry about anything. The part, I mean, while preparing, be it the financial part or be it what will I do after the results? What if I don't get it? Those parts,
Exactly.
The previous times I did used to think, like, what will I do if I don't clear it? So this time I was like, okay, if I don't clear it, I'll just continue working.
Continue. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so it helps.
These are the two main points you want to convey to the students.
Yeah,
First, don't get yourself too much attached to the examination. Second one is have a plan B as well.
Plan B, yeah.
Both are complementary. I think both these two points are complementary.
Complementary.
Yeah, exactly. That's really wonderful. And I'm really happy that we have a student like Manu with us. And I hope कि सबने आपसे बहुत कुछ सीखा होगा, seriously. And we are really happy. I'm really happy. I'm personally really happy कि आपका सिलेक्शन हुआ और हमने आपसे बात की और बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला होगा सारे के सारे एस्पिरेंट्स को. ठीक है मनु? चले.
Pleasure talking with you also.
Okay, welcome. Thank you and same here. Okay, फिर I'm signing off. Okay, bye bye.
Bye.